Another check on shares of Pinterest and Snap in the after-hours session. We're seeing Snap with that astronomical gain of 56%. Pinterest is up not too shabby, 21%. Joining us now is an early investor in Pinterest, Rick Heitzman of First Mark Capital. Rick, great to see you.
Great seeing you.
These moves are just staggering. I mean, then you add in Meta and the move that we saw in today's session, down 26%. You see the move in Amazon. Why do you think there is such volatility gripping this corner of the market?
Well, I think 2022, as you've seen from the market correction, is going to be a kind of a year of discrimination. And I think when you saw with Meta was a lot of disintermediation and a lot of competition, especially from TikTok and a lot of their demographics. And, Facebook is largely a messaging platform and a short form video sharing platform, whether it be with Facebook or Instagram. And then you think about Pinterest and some of the other social media in broadly plays, and they have a different utility and a different use case. Users use it for different things, and therefore they're able to monetize differently and obviously show better results.
Hey, Rick, it's Dan. Thanks for joining us. Hey, listen, so when you think about just some of the, indiscriminate selling that we're seeing, it started out maybe a year ago in some of these SaaS names that were kind of the winners of the pandemic, and you saw it definitely in some of these marketplace names. What are some valuation metrics that you'd like to think about in enterprise? We talk about price to sales all the time. Is there levels that are going to be like, okay, no matter what, you got to get in, you got to start buying these things that are down 30, 40%, and is it different for consumer social names?
I think it's different for each of those groups and probably in subsegments. As we talked about before, this is the year of the business model and discrimination. So not even all consumer internet names are the same. But I would say in general, about 10 times revenue, which is kind of even below. I think Pinterest and Snap, even after the adjustment, are trading at a lower multiple than that. But even as you think about some of the other names that are rallying around AWS, if you think about the snowflakes of the world, you're seeing that those even though the stocks have been beaten down, those multiples are still in the low 20s, which are at kind of below historical average for infrastructure software companies.
How do you think about TikTok, Rick? I mean, that was cited specifically by Mark Zuckerberg a number of times during the conference call, and especially in relationship to Pinterest or a Snap. And I understand the use cases, as you said, are very, very different, but still it's all about the competition for attention. People have limited amounts of time. And so whether it's short form video or finding a recipe, I mean, it's all time spent.
It's all time. I mean, Reed Hastings famously said his biggest competition is sleep. So, we only have so much attention and there's only so many platforms we could parse it across. I think Pinterest and Snap both mentioned TikTok in their earnings calls today. And as you think about TikTok, it's the first time in 20 years that Google wasn't the most used site and wasn't the most used app in the world. It's now TikTok and ByteDance. So, they're taking a tremendous share, especially in the younger demographics, which consume most of the digital media on the whole. So I think you're seeing Meta, whether it be Facebook or Instagram, being eaten up by that. Obviously, the company's not public yet, so you're not able to measure metrics apples to apples. But I think TikTok is an incredible threat to Facebook at a time where they're not going to be able to buy that competitive threat the way they did with an Instagram or even a WhatsApp.
The Commerce Department right now is weighing proposals to increase oversight of foreign-owned apps like TikTok specifically, Rick. Could that actually help/save some of these other social media stocks if regulation came down hard?
I don't think it can. I mean, it'll affect ownership, but at least, looking around, at the kids in my house, they love TikTok. They don't care who owns it. They love the creators that are on it. They love the format. So, it doesn't really matter for the users, and that engagement's only becoming more heavily increased. So although it might prevent a Facebook or a Google from buying TikTok, it's not stopping that consumption pattern by users, especially the youngest users.
Rick, it's always great to get your insights. Thanks so much.
Good seeing you. Thanks,
Rick
everybody.
Heitzman, First Mark. Guy, I know that you've liked Pinterest for a long time, both as a user and as somebody who watches stocks.
I was early user adapter of Pinterest. As a matter of fact, I think the first time Rick was on the show was the day that I set up my Pinterest account. But what he points out is completely accurate. I mean, I'm not going to use the word failing, but I will use slowing. And I think, in retrospect, it's pretty clear why Facebook was so quick to change the name of the company, because they want to obviously be associated with something else now as that business slows. It makes sense, but doesn't mean these other businesses aren't viable. And I think Snap is showing that just in terms of the metrics, specifically the fact that they'll be able to charge more per user. So good for Snap, bad for Facebook.
Karen, by the way, did you buy any more Facebook today? Or Meta, I should say.
I didn't. No, I would, I'm trying to be more disciplined with the 3-day rule. This one, I feel like it really does need a shakeout. It'll probably be up tomorrow just on the heels of, a sort of a snapback rally in the space. But no, I'm sitting it out for a little while.